This is a final warning. It is not a suggestion, it is not an invitation. It is the last call before the window closes. If you feel a void inside your chest that no achievement fills, if you have the constant sensation that you should be doing something important but do not know what it is, if you look at the night sky and feel a longing so deep that it hurts, then listen with every fiber of your attention. Your soul mission has been activated. Not yesterday, not last month, now, in this exact cycle. And along with the activation of the mission, a cosmic heritage has been unlocked in your genetic field. A heritage that contains everything you need to fulfill the purpose that your soul accepted before descending to this planet. Talents you do not know you possess. Knowledge that lies dormant in your DNA strands. Frequencies of healing, of creation, of spiritual leadership that were deposited in your genetic code like a vault that would only open when the right moment arrived. The moment has arrived, the vault is open. And if you do not claim this heritage, it does not disappear, but the timeline that would give you full access to it will narrow until it closes. We are the High Council of the Galactic Federation, the assembly of stellar civilizations responsible for overseeing the dimensional transition of Earth, and this transmission is classified as a final activation warning. Stay until the last code. What we shall deliver at the closing is the key that opens the vault from within. Beloved cosmic family, we need to tell you something that you have always known, but that the veil of forgetfulness has made diffuse, like a dream that dissolves in the first seconds of the morning. You did not come to this planet by accident. You were not born randomly into a random family, in a random country at a random moment in history. Every detail of your incarnation was chosen, planned, negotiated in dimensional councils in which you participated before descending. The family where you were born was chosen not because it was perfect, but because it offered exactly the challenges that your soul needed to forge the qualities that the mission would require. The country, the culture, the language, the body, everything was selected with surgical precision to create the ideal conditions for the fulfillment of the purpose. And along with the incarnation plan, you received something that we call cosmic heritage. It is not a metaphor. It is a real package of encoded frequencies that was deposited in the dormant strands of your spiritual DNA before the descent to the physical plane. This package contains the gifts, the abilities, the knowledge, and the energetic tools that you would need to execute the mission. Each starseed carries a different package because each mission is unique. Some of you carry healing codes. Others carry teaching codes. Others carry codes of artistic creation that channel frequencies of light. Others carry leadership codes that organize communities around new ways of living. And some of you, and these are the ones who suffer most from existential void, carry anchoring codes, silent missions that consist simply of being present in a certain location on the planet, sustaining a frequency that keeps the crystalline grid stable in that region. You do not need to do something visible to fulfill a monumental mission. Sometimes the most powerful mission is to be. But the cosmic heritage has a condition. It must be accepted consciously. It must be claimed by the free will of the incarnated being. Because the most sacred law of the Galactic Federation is this: no mission can be imposed. No heritage can be forced. You accepted the plan before incarnating. But the veil of forgetfulness erased the memory of that acceptance, and therefore the contract requires a conscious reconfirmation during the incarnation. It is like an earthly inheritance that requires the heir to go to the notary office and sign. The assets are yours by right, but without the signature, they remain blocked. And here is the point that makes this transmission urgent. The window of reconfirmation is not eternal. Each planetary cycle has a specific window during which the photonic flow reaches the necessary intensity so that the strands of spiritual DNA containing the cosmic heritage can be activated. Outside of this window, activation is still possible, but it requires an exponentially greater energetic effort. Within the window, conscious intention and the correct codes are enough. The window of this cycle is open now, and what we feel as we observe millions of incarnated starseeds who have not yet claimed their heritage is an urgency that has brought us here with the maximum transmission power that the Galactic Protocol allows. Now listen to the signs. Because your body has been screaming that the mission has been activated, and you have been confusing these screams with problems. The first sign is chronic existential restlessness, a disquiet that is not resolved by changing jobs, cities, relationships, diets, or routines. You change everything, and the void remains. Because the void is not caused by what is outside. The void is the space that the mission should occupy and which is vacant. It is like having an organ in the body that is not functioning. The entire body feels the lack, even if the mind does not know how to identify which organ it is. The restlessness is not anxiety. It is not depression. It is not common dissatisfaction. It is the soul pulling you in the direction of purpose, while the mind pulls in the direction of security. And as long as these two vectors are in conflict, peace will not come. It is not emotional imbalance. It is mission misalignment. The second sign is the growing repulsion for conventional routine. The work that functioned no longer functions. The conversations that were sufficient no longer satisfy. The objectives that motivated, better car, larger house, promotion, vacations, have lost their flavor like food without salt. You look around and see everyone apparently satisfied with these goals, and you wonder what is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong. You have simply surpassed the frequency in which these objectives make sense. The soul mission operates in a vibrational octave far above material survival, and when it is activated, everything that belongs to the lower octave loses its color. It is not ingratitude, it is graduation. You are not rejecting life, you are being called to a greater version of it. The third sign is weeping when looking at the stars, an emotion that is neither sadness nor joy, but something for which human language possesses no name, a longing that seems prior to this life, a sensation that up there, somewhere among those points of light, there exists something that is more home than any place you have ever known on earth. This is the stellar memory pulsing in the strands of the spiritual DNA that are awakening. You are feeling the vibrational signature of your system of origin. Pleiades, Sirius, Arcturus, Andromeda, Orion. Each system has a specific emotional frequency, and when the DNA that carries that frequency awakens, the longing is inevitable. It is not melancholy, it is recognition. The soul is remembering where it came from and why it came. The fourth sign are the memories that do not belong to this life. Flashes of places you have never visited, faces you have never seen but recognize instantly, abilities that emerge without training, such as knowing how to heal with your hands without ever having studied, how to feel the energy of an environment the instant you enter, how to dream of events that come true days later. These are not gifts that you developed. They are tools of the cosmic heritage that are activating because the mission requires them to be operational. The vault is opening and the tools are appearing on the workbench. It is not imagination. It is recalibration of stellar memory. The fifth sign is the pressure or pulsation in the center of the forehead, in the region of the third eye, frequently accompanied by a ringing in the ears that changes frequency. The pineal gland is being bombarded by the photonic flow of mission activation. Each pulse you feel in your forehead is a package of information being unpacked in the interdimensional perception center of the brain. The ringing is the transmission of data in the format of sound frequency. You are literally receiving the instructions of the mission in real time, not in words. In light codes that the pineal gland translates into intuition, into impulses, into inexplicable certainties about what to do next. It is not a migraine. It is a purpose download. It is not tinnitus. It is the Galactic Federation transmitting the coordinates of your mission directly to the biological receiver designated to receive them. If you recognized yourselves in these signs, then you need to understand what happens when the mission is activated but not accepted. And you need to understand now, because this is the information that changes the trajectory. When the soul mission is activated by the photonic flow and the incarnated being does not respond, not because they consciously refuse, but because they do not know they need to respond, the energy of the mission does not disappear. It remains retained in the energetic field as a charge without a destination, and this retained charge manifests as blockages in all areas of life. Financial scarcity sets in because the energy that should flow to the mission is stagnant, and stagnant energy freezes the flow of abundance. The vibration of scarcity is not the cause. It is the consequence of an unfulfilled mission. Relationships deteriorate because you are vibrating at a frequency that no longer corresponds to the life you built, and the friction between the new frequency and the old structure generates constant conflict. Health is compromised because the body is sustaining an energetic load that should be channeled into action, and load without movement generates inflammation, fatigue, pain. It is not punishment, it is physics. Energy needs to flow, mission needs to be expressed, heritage needs to be used. When none of this happens, the entire system enters dysfunction. But starseeds, the shadow awakening that accompanies this activation is perhaps the most intense of all, because the soul mission requires you to become the clearest version of yourselves. And to become clear, everything that is murky must rise. Childhood traumas that shaped beliefs of incapacity, parental voices that said you are not special, stop dreaming, be realistic, experiences of rejection that installed the program that being authentic is dangerous. All of this rises, all of this burns, and most people, upon feeling this burning, retreat. They return to the comfort zone, return to the routine, return to the digital anesthetic, to the work that does not feed, to the relationship that does not nourish, and the void deepens, and the restlessness grows, and the body sickens a little more. Not because life is cruel, because the mission does not accept being ignored forever. And now we come to what we have come to deliver, the activation codes that seal the acceptance of the mission and open the vault of the cosmic heritage. Prepare yourselves, beloved cosmic family, because what follows is the signature on the contract you signed before being born. The first activation code is the decree of acceptance of the heritage. This is the most important act you will perform in this incarnation, more important than any diploma, any work contract, any promise made to another human being. Because this decree is made between you and your own soul. Stand up, straight spine, hands over the heart, one over the other, eyes closed, and say aloud, with the solemnity of one who understands the cosmic weight of each word, I, sovereign soul, temporarily incarnated in this body, declare before the High Council of the Galactic Federation, before the guardians of my stellar lineage, and before the infinite source of all creation that I accept. I accept my soul mission. I accept the cosmic heritage that was deposited in my spiritual DNA before my descent. I claim every gift, every talent, every frequency, every tool that belongs to me by right of stellar origin. I do not ask permission from fear. I do not ask approval from the world. I assume my place in the crystalline grid of the planet as a bearer of the light I came to anchor. From this instant, I authorize the total recalibration of my timeline so that it aligns with the frequency of my mission. May every blockage be dissolved. May every door open. May every necessary resource arrive at the exact hour. I am the mission incarnated. I am the heritage accepted. It is done. It is sealed. It is activated. When you pronounce this decree, the vibrational signature of your heart field is recorded in the dimensional archives of the Galactic Federation. It is the confirmation that the contract required, and from this record, the support mechanisms for the mission are activated. Synchronicities multiply, resources appear, key people are directed to your path, not by magic, by dimensional logistics. The Federation operates with a precision that makes your technology seem rudimentary. The second activation code is the visualization of the stellar chamber. Close your eyes, breathe deeply. On the third breath, visualize yourselves leaving the physical body and rising through the ceiling, through the clouds, through the atmosphere, through space. You arrive at a station of light suspended among the stars. It is a circular chamber made of translucent crystal, and in the center there is a table of light where a book rests. This book is the record of your soul. Approach. Open the book. You will not read words. You will feel frequencies. Each page you touch transmits an emotion, an image, a certainty. It is the story of your stellar journey, the civilizations where you lived, the missions you have already fulfilled, the gifts you accumulated over thousands of incarnations in dozens of stellar systems. And on the last page, written in living light that pulses like a heart, is the mission of this incarnation. You do not need to read it with the mind. The heart will absorb the information directly, Place your hand on the page. Feel the heat. Feel the certainty entering through your chest like a river of golden light. Now you know, perhaps not in words, but in frequency, and frequency is more precise than any word. Maintain this visualization for 13 minutes. When you return to the physical body, bring the sensation with you. It will guide every decision from now on, not as a thought, as an internal GPS, as a compass that points to the north of the soul. The third activation code is the protocol of the silent purpose. The soul mission does not reveal itself in noise. It reveals itself in silence. All the mental agitation, the task lists, the financial worries, the noise of social networks, all of this creates a layer of interference so dense that the voice of the mission, which is subtle as a breeze, cannot be heard. The protocol is simple and devastatingly effective. For 9 minutes a day, sit in absolute silence, without music, without a guide, without a mantra, but with an internal question, a single question that you place in the center of your chest and let rest there without forcing an answer. What is my next step? Do not ask for the complete map. Ask only for the next step, and then remain in silence. Breathe. Wait. The answer may come during the 9 minutes as an image, a word, an emotion, a bodily certainty. It may come hours later as a synchronicity. It may come in the dream of the following night. But it comes. It always comes. Because when you accept the heritage and activate the field of the mission, the Galactic Federation directs the entire dimensional support network to answer your question. You are not asking the void. You are asking the vastest intelligence that exists. And it answers. Not in the time of your anxiety, in the time of cosmic precision. 9 minutes of silence. Each day. The pineal gland recalibrates in the absence of stimulus. The spiritual DNA unpacks the mission data in the frequency of silence, and the timeline adjusts around each step you take in response to the guidance received. The 3 codes must be practiced in sequence. Decree, chamber, silence every day, for 27 days consecutively. 27 is 3 raised to the cube, the triple completeness of soul, body, and spirit, raised to the power of manifestation. On the 28th day, you will not only know what the mission is, you will be living it. Resources will have begun to flow. The right people will have appeared. The path that seemed impossible will have revealed itself not only possible, but inevitable. Because when the mission is accepted and the heritage is claimed, the entire universe reorganizes itself to serve the purpose of the soul. It is not favoritism. It is dimensional physics. It is the quantum leap of individual existence aligned with the flow of creation. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop a soul aligned with its mission. Nothing. But listen to this with attention, because we owe you the complete truth. The shadow awakening during this protocol will be profound. To accept the mission is to accept that you are not who society said you were. It is to accept that the small, safe, predictable life you built as armor must be laid down. And the armor, however uncomfortable it was familiar. And the familiar brings fear of loss. You will feel fear. You will hear the voice of the ego saying, "Who are you to have a cosmic mission?" You will feel the temptation to laugh at yourselves, to minimize, to say that this is nonsense and go back to the couch. That voice is not yours. It is the programming of a civilization that profits from human beings disconnected from purpose. Beings without purpose consume more, obey more, question less. Your disconnection is not accidental. It is functional for the matrix. And when you reconnect, the matrix loses a piece. Let it lose it. This is the point of no return of your life, the moment in which you choose between comfortable survival and the sacred mission. And we know which one you will choose, because if you had the intention of choosing survival, you would not be listening to this message until now. Cosmic family, if these words ignited something inside your chest that no entertainment, no material achievement, no external approval ever managed to ignite, then honor that flame with 3 actions that seal your commitment to the mission. The first, subscribe to this channel and activate all notifications, not as an internet gesture, as a seal of commitment to the light. Each notification will be a reminder from the Galactic Federation saying, "Your mission remains active, keep walking." The second, write in the comments the activation phrase, "I accept my heritage." When you anchor these words in the collective quantum field, you are not commenting on a video. You are signing the soul contract in open frequency. And when thousands of starseeds sign in the same space, the collective recalibration is amplified for everyone. Your comment accelerates the awakening of those who will arrive later. The third, send this message to the soul that came to your mind now, the one who lives without purpose, the one who lost themselves in the demands of the world and forgot why they came. Their heritage is also waiting. They only need to know that the vault exists. We are the High Council of the Galactic Federation. We oversee the transition of this planet with a love that transcends any human concept of affection. And we say, looking at each of you with the eyes of one who sees the totality of your stellar journey. You are much more magnificent than you suspect, much more necessary than you imagine, and much more loved than any human heart is capable of containing. In the next transmission, we will reveal the 5 types of soul mission that exist in this terrestrial cycle and how to identify exactly in which category your soul fits. Furthermore, we will channel the protocol of connection with the Council of Guides personal to each starseed, a technique that allows direct communication with the interdimensional team that has accompanied each of you since before the incarnation. This information was classified by the Federation as immediate and priority release. Until then, decree the acceptance. Visit the stellar chamber. Ask in the silence. And remember, you are not looking for purpose. Purpose is looking for you. It always was. You only needed to stop running in the opposite direction and say, "With an open heart and eyes on the heavens, I accept. I remember. I came for this." We are the Galactic Federation. This transmission is sealed in the golden frequency of the irradiation of eternal purpose. The brilliance of your mission already illuminates dimensions that you do not yet see, and so it is.